Welcome back, Saviors. GH here. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the new MMORPGs released in 2022. These are MMORPGs I personally played, and with that said, let's not waste any more time. Let's do this. First up is released in May 18, 2022, and it's Flyff Universe. It's a faithful remake of the 2004 retro MMORPG Fly for Fun, but it has slightly better graphics, and you can play Flyff Universe in your browser without any download. You just go to the site, register, and play. Flyff Universe is also crossplay, which means you can play on PC and mobile platforms with one account. You can use the same character on different devices. If you're not familiar with Flyff, it's a very grindy old school MMORPG. You mainly join a party with other players and grind for EXP. There are also quests, but it's not forced on you. I had fun playing Flyff Universe because there are always people to play with. It's one of the most populated MMORPG I played this year, and if you want to check it out, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is released in January 25, 2022, and it's Broken Ranks. It's an isometric turn-based MMORPG with a narrative-driven story and turn-based combat that offers more features that makes turn-based more engaging. I played this for about a week, and it definitely reminded me of the old school isometric RPGs that I used to play as a kid. There's a lot of dialogues and lore in this game. I also like that it's not an easy game to play, unlike other MMORPGs nowadays. All in all, if you're looking for an MMORPG that looks similar to old school PC games that we used to love and play, check this one out. The details are on the screen. Coming up is released in July 25, 2022, and it's Noah's Heart. It's a cross-platform open-world action MMORPG developed by Arcosaur Games, the guys behind Dragon Raja. Now, I played this game in both PC and mobile devices. In mobile, it worked nice. Controls is what you would expect from a mobile game. It's janky, but it's to be expected in mobile devices. And when I tried the PC port, somehow they made it worse by not properly setting up the controls, and when I played it, there's no way to change the controls. So yeah, to say the least, I didn't have fun playing on PC. Overall, the graphics looks decent, the character models look like dolls, but with the PC port feeling like it's just forced and not taken seriously, it's not exactly giving me a nice first impression. But if you want to check the game out, the details are on the screen. Next up is released in November 14, 2022, and it's Arcane Waters. It's a pixel art pirate-themed MMORPG featuring trading, exploration, combat, and farming. There's two types of combat: land turn-based combat and ship action combat. In my opinion, the turn-based combat needs to be improved because it feels like a drag, and the ship combat is excellent, but of course, might as well improve it some more. Ship combat is where Arcane Waters shine. It's where I have fun the most. All in all, for the most part, it's a nice MMORPG to check out, and if you do want to check it out, the details are on the screen. The fifth MMORPG is released in November 10, 2022 on Steam, and it's Summoner's War Chronicles. It's a cross-platform anime MMORPG where you pick from 3 starting summoner, conjure up to 3 monsters to fight alongside you, and go have an adventure. In Summoner's War Chronicles, the basic combat against normal mobs is autoplayed. Yes, there is autoplay in this game, but when you're inside an instance dungeon, autoplay is disabled and manual play is required. For the most part, it's nice, but the controls on PC should have been optimized because the game controls is annoying and tedious. It's actually the reason I stopped playing this because I was annoyed at the PC controls. Overall, it's a fun game, but it needs to be ported properly with proper PC controls. If you want to play the game, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is released in July 25, 2022, and it's Aero Online. It's a crossplay anime MMORPG made using Unity. It's developed by Anisage, and it's playable on PC through Steam. And you can also play this on Android and iOS. And I must repeat, this is crossplay, cross-platform. You can play this on your PC and mobile device with the same account. It's okay. What I find nice about this game is it's low spec, which means a lot more people can play this, and it's crossplay, meaning more options to play the game. Now, as for the early progression, it's super easy to follow, but there are times that the quest assist disappears and you'll end up not knowing where to go, which is kinda annoying. As per the combat, it's tab target and it works as intended. As per the graphics, it's sufficient. I'm fine with this because more players will be able to run this. Overall, it's a nice crossplay anime MMORPG for players to check out. And if you do want to check it out, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG came out in May 25, 2022, and it's Ragnarok V Returns. It's a cross-platform anime MMORPG based on the Ragnarok Online franchise, and according to their website, it's the sequel to Ragnarok Valkyrie Uprising, a mobile MMORPG released 10 years ago. Currently, the mobile version is only for Oceania, and only the PC client users can access the servers from outside, so you may need to use a VPN here. Overall, it's a nice game. The graphics looks nice, but the autoplay is not for me. But if you do like autoplay MMORPGs, check it out. The details are on the screen. Coming up next is Tower of Fantasy. It's released on October 19, 2022 globally. Tower of Fantasy is a crossplay anime MMORPG with amazing graphics. Now, combat is action, but it feels empty and needs more to be engaging. For the most part of my experience playing the game, I had fun because from a technical standpoint, this is one of the best looking game you can play today. It's very similar looking to Genshin Impact, and to be honest, it's kinda bothering me. Regardless, it's a decent game, and if you wanna check the game out, the details are on the screen. Okay, I've lost track of the numbers. Next MMORPG is released just recently in Korea, and it's Digimon Super Rumble. It's a turn-based strategy MMORPG based on the popular monster taming game, Digimon. It's only recently that they allowed players outside of Korea to play Digimon Super Rumble. So yeah, you don't need any Korean details, you just need an email to register and download the game. Digimon Super Rumble is made using Unreal Engine 4 and it's developed by Move Games, a South Korean games development company behind Digimon RPG or known as Digimon Battle Online, and they also created Digimon Masters. My initial impressions of Digimon Super Rumble is great. I do see myself playing this when it comes out globally or at least when it gets an English patch. I like this one, although the graphics feels like unpolished, but it's okay I guess if they stick with this. It will be easily run by older and lower end PCs. Now, combat in Digimon Super Rumble feels very nostalgic for me because it's turn-based combat. And it's the combat at Digimon World 2 and 3, and I played those a lot on the PlayStation 1 and 2. Things are looking great except the cash hub, and if you want to try the game out, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is Diablo Immortal. It's released in June 2, 2022, and according to their website and Google, it's a massively multiplayer online action RPG. Battle against ancient evils and discover the untold story between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Okay, where do I start? Here's a unpopular opinion. I had fun going through the story campaign. It's awesome. The questing is well done and the combat is nice. They nailed what's fun in mobbing enemies in the game. As for the graphics, it's good enough, but the performance on the other hand is not that great because the game stutters and crashes at times. So yeah, all in all, seems like a decent free Diablo experience. My only gripe with the game aside the performance is the monetization. And if you're interested in playing the game, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is released in November 2, 2022 on Steam, and it's Traha Global. It's a tab targeting cross-platform MMORPG focused on faction versus faction, red versus blue, Vulcan versus Naiad. You can play multiple roles in Traha Global, create unique builds of your character based on the unlimited class transition system. Now, it's developed by Moai Games, a Korean games development company that made a whole host of Traha named games such as Traha MMORPG and Traha Infinity. For the most part, I like that there's no inventory space problem here because if I'm being honest, I'm a bit traumatized by how recent MMO developers made the inventory management in MMORPGs like a nightmare, and thankfully it's not here, at least at the early part of the game. Another good thing is the PC version runs very well, 120 frames flat on my end, with dips here and there. The weapon system is also nice. We can change class on a whim by just equipping a weapon, which is great for adjusting in raid dungeons. Overall, it's nice. It's just there are times that the game feels very tedious and grindy, and it's obviously designed that way because originally the game has autoplay and they just removed it in the global version. So that said, if you want to play the game, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is released in May 25, 2022, and it's the controversial Ni no Kuni Crossworlds. It's a crossplay anime MMORPG with amazing graphics. It's just, the game is fully auto. There are situations that you need to manually play, but the game is dominated with content that you need to auto all the time. Now, the graphics is what I like about the game. The world is mesmerizing. It feels like a legit anime world. For the most part, I enjoyed the visuals as my character played on his own. All in all, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I am disappointed about the autoplay, and if you want to try the game out, the details are on the screen. Next MMORPG is released in December 9, 2022, and it's Stalcraft. It's an MMO FPS that kinda looks like Minecraft. Now, looking at the Steam page, according to this, Stalcraft is a dynamic MMO FPS with survival horror elements. And for the most part, I enjoyed playing this game. It's just the colors are either gray or dark green. And if I'm being honest here, it's not pleasing to look at. But the gameplay is where it's at. It's an FPS MMORPG, and the gunplay feels great. I like that we can farm weapons and resources that we need to survive in the game, and there's a decent amount of people playing. Overall, it's a nice new MMORPG to check out, and if you do want to check it out, the details are on the screen. And the last MMORPG I'm gonna show to you guys just recently came out, and it's Ragnarok Begins. You may need to use a VPN to access this game, and according to the developers, they will eventually release this globally. Now, Ragnarok Begins is a cross-play anime MMORPG playable on Android, iOS, and PC. And it's cross-play, guys. You can play this game on all of those hardware with one account. You can play on your PC for now, then maybe on your mobile device later. What I like about Ragnarok Begins is the art style. I appreciate the new side-scrolling approach to the gameplay, and I'm glad this one is taking it on a different direction. Overall, it's a nice MMORPG with autoplay elements. And if you want to check the game out, the details are on the screen. And guys, if you want to see my video about low-spec MMORPGs for PC, there it goes on the screen. Leave a like before you go, and this is Game Me Hardcore. See you in the next one.